DJ, no Deshaun Watson deal. Derrick Henry gets banged up, maybe out for the year. Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad starts posting videos about Baker not throwing his son the ball. Calvin Ridley just ups and decides he's not going to play for a while. Henry Ruggs killed a man or a woman. I'm not quite sure which. Where the hell do we start tonight?
I don't even. I didn't want to do this show. I think it's all about me.
Are you drinking though?
No, I'm not drinking.
Oh, well, I'm going to get loaded for both of us. You know why, DJ? Because it's the GD Loaded Box podcast.
Where we never finish first because we finished last.
Did we just start something new? Do we open every podcast now with me opening a beer and you pouring it? Because I don't know, was that a real pour or did you YouTube sound that? Because it sounded great to me.
It was a real pour.
It was a real pour, but it was a real weak pour because if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, you saw that was an A&W root beer and not a Busch Light beer.
Was it? Did it actually sound good?
It sounded fantastic.
Nice. That's why I love these microphones.
What's that called? ASMR?
ASMR.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna be like a 3/4 chub listening to that.
So the reason I said it's all about me is because of you're probably going to talk about it, but in real life, I know I went 2-3, but I can't explain to you guys how bad of a gambling day I had on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday specifically, I bet all 4 3:00 games because I was off to like a 1-4 start or something like that.
Yeah,
and I went 0-4. And then I proceeded to bet 6 bets in the Sunday night game and went 0-6. You can't even make that up. I got to the point where I upped my afternoon bets on Sunday too. So I just double what I lost.
I like our evolution of gamblers because when we first started this, I mean, we were young. We were really young when we started first gambling. And it was only like betting on some games. And it would be like you'd make your bets one time a day and that was that.
Right.
Now it's like you're making bets throughout the day. You're doing prop bets. You're doing first quarter bets. We're doing teasers and money liners, live bets. And man, I text you and said like, how bad is it? And you said like, I won one game and then I lost the rest. And then I lost all the 4:00 games. And then I lost like 6 different ways on Sunday night. And I was like, Jesus, dude, you have a kid being born in December. You might need to hit the black market.
Kids on the black market. Big head. That's gonna be worth something. I was in a place where I couldn't sleep on Sunday. I could feel like I was on the edge of a building. My toes were peeking over. The wind was breezing. I'm wobbling back and forth, and I was just like, somebody push me and end it because I was in a bad spot. I'm about to call 1-800-GAMBLER if I don't hit these things. But I do have action on the Maction tonight, of course.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know. I have a problem. But so far, my Maction bets are looking pretty good. I've got money on the Astros and the under. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I was going to say that if you bet on that baseball game, you should take the over. But I don't even have it on right now.
It's fine right now. It's 0-0 still. I have a Monday reading, though.
Oh, what? A reading from Monday? Because we're recording this on Tuesday.
Sorry,
we're a little early this week.
A Tuesday reading.
Okay.
I don't even know what day it is. It goes, happy birthday to the person that allows me to host a March Madness person at our house March Madness party at our house every year. Doesn't kick me out of the house when I take a month to accomplish what I'm supposed to get done around the house on a weekly basis. Hasn't left me due to my unhealthy relationships with the Miami Dolphins. Does more for our 2 kids than I even likely imagine. Has dedicated her professional career to helping other people. Do you know who that is? What kind of I don't want to get canceled, soft little bitch shit post that is, and I expected better out of you. I've never posted on Facebook. I don't need to display anything publicly. But here you come out of the clouds dropping these sappy ass. My wife, and I didn't even see it. My wife goes, that was a very nice happy birthday post by Brett. And I could not pick up my phone fast enough to go find that. I was like, what? This idiot made a fucking Facebook post. We don't do that.
Here's the deal, DJ. What this is called? This is called scoring brownie points ahead of the game. This is getting easy buckets. What I'm doing right here. So next week, I'm not going to be able to do a podcast with you. You're going to have to either call you can ad lib. You got this. I'm going to be in Cancun, just floating.
You're just going to have to send me directions on how to upload again.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. I'm going to be going from swim up bar to swim up bar, not a care in the world. My wife
Except you'll be eating chicken, hamburger, and hot dogs still.
It's going to be dope. As you know, I've got 2 kids under the age of 2. My wife is hell-bent on having 3. Me making that Facebook post right there is going to buy me some time that while I'm gone away from these kids for a week, that I can either use the rubbers or the pull-out method. I'm not on any pressure now to have to make another kid because I made that sappy post. I earned the brownie points. I earned myself a few more months of only having to deal with 2 kids before the inevitable comes and 3 has to come. So all I did there was delayed the inevitable, but at least I get a little bit more time, DJ.
Our entire existence as people and people we hang out with isn't being douchey on Facebook or on social media and posting stupid shit and getting attention. We're normal people, and then you go ahead and you fucking ruin it with that terrible happy birthday post. Like, you can't.
I've never done that before.
No, I know, me neither, and I'm very disappointed.
We looked through my Facebook post one day to see what was posted on my page that I did that wasn't podcast related. We had to go back like 2 years.
I can't remember the last time I posted. I will share like my brother-in-law's like, he's got like some jujitsu thing, and we had an agreement to like share each other's stuff every now and then just to be nice to get more looks or whatever. But like, that's it.
Well, I tell you what, those 2 kids are waiting for me upstairs, and one of them's inevitably going to wake up. So without further ado, let's kick off week 9 because, like I said, we're a little early. But so I don't like doing the episode this early in the week because I don't know all the injuries and everything that's going to happen leading up to it. But at the same time, I feel like you get a little bit of a break on certain lines, and I will explain that more when I get to certain ones. But let's go to your first one here, DJ.
This is a perfect example.
It's your foolproof lock of the week. You're always going to do it no matter the number. You got the Packers.
So I know where my downfall started. It started when I stopped putting unis in the thing. So I went back to unis. I'm betting the same. So I'm not even going to say it. I'm betting 0.3 unis on every game. It's my lucky number. It's my favorite number. I'm going to just go back to basics. I'm going to stick to 0.3 unis on every game. I'm going to go unis, and I'm betting the Packers right off the bat. They're 1-point dogs right now on Tuesday against this trash Kansas City Chiefs. This is a bad football team. Let's think about that, okay? Let's get this in our heads. This is a bad football team. If you take away like just one of the 2 main guys, really, in Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, they struggle. Patrick Mahomes is getting cute. They belong. It's weird to say, but they look like that was the type of matchup that they belonged in with the Giants, which means they have come way down from what our expectations have been. And Patrick Mahomes is not even close to the best quarterback in the NFL at this point. Not right now. Okay? I'm going to say that, and I'm not afraid to say it because we have now multiple weeks showing that something's happening. Something's weird. I bet the money line, which is even money right now, Vegas just hasn't figured out the Packers because they're like, oh, they keep covering. They'll win without anybody. They just won against the Cardinals without Devontae Adams, without Lazard. Bakhtiari could be back. They're going to be bringing MVS back. They're basically going to have their whole offensive line healthy. Za'Darius is coming back pretty soon here. I mean, if they don't have all the confidence in the world right now, I don't understand what Vegas is doing. This team covers every week, and they're just like, oh, let's just say they're 1-point dogs. I don't understand it.
Are you scared, though, that the Packers are coming off that win because they went up to Arizona against an undefeated team, depleted at wide receiver, no Bakhtiari, and they escaped with that victory? And then you've got the Chiefs who have just kind of been meh all season, kind of just escaped with a victory against the Giants on Monday night. Are you nervous that this game in Kansas City, at some point, that team is going to start clicking? And it's and like you said that too, like they were in that game with the Giants, and it's almost like, well, that's kind of looked like their comp set. Like that's who they should be kind of playing against. But at the same time, is it the fact that maybe they're playing to the level of their competition there? And if they play against Green Bay at home, that they kind of rise up and take it to the next level?
I don't think they're playing to the level of competition at all. I just think they're not good. Like, I don't think they're playing any really good teams, and they're just not playing well and losing games.
I would pass so hard on that game. If anything, I think I would have to go opposite. Football, man.
The Packers
football will happen.
Can play. They've shown this year they can play any style of game, and they haven't even got their inevitably 35-point scoring. Rodgers has 6 seconds in the pocket offense going yet, which is coming pretty fucking soon. And their defense has been solid. And they haven't gotten their finesse, high-flying offense. And that offense is coming. I'm telling you right now, that offense is coming. They showed that they can win scrappy. They can run A.J. Dillon. They can run Aaron Jones and only throw the ball to Aaron Jones, barely throw it to the wide receivers or tight ends, and then win by just pure scheme. They out-scheme everybody this year. They're grittier. They're tougher, which I haven't seen forever. We saw what the 49ers did to them 2 years ago. And they're going to be better offensively than everybody else. They just can win anyway at this point.
And if they do get all those guys back, what a defense to get to go up against.
Yeah.
Man, that's just, they're riding just a struggle bus right now.
They're going to murder that defense.
Speaking of riding the struggle bus, so this next game scares me because we're both on it. And last week we were both on the Lions, and I think they proceeded to score 3 or 6 points. It's like a 40-point loss. That didn't go well.
75% of everybody was on the Lions, and I still wasn't scared.
That was brutal, man. That game, we were never in contention for that game. So big bad loss, but we're going to try it again this week. And I've got the Bengals -3 against the Browns. You actually have them at -2.5. And what I was saying about betting early is I liked this at -3 when I saw it. And I was like, you know what? I'm legit betting this right now because I saw it going the other way. So you getting it at 2.5 is even better. Like if I'm you, I'm all up in that. Like I'd love to get it at 2.5, but the fact that it's not 3.5 is why I'm on it. So I'm taking that 3. Dude, you don't think the Bengals are going to bounce back after that game against the Jets? Just a colossal failure and letdown against the Jets, and they're not going to be embarrassed again. Their defense, which was starting to look good, like the Bengals defense, just got annihilated by freaking Mike White. They're not going to let that happen again. The Browns, I don't want to say the Browns are in shambles by any means, but at the same token, like it's the schedule's catching up to them. They got out to that hot start. I remember going game by game before the season started as to like how the Browns would do. And I remember them having just a tough schedule and running into some things. I think they're getting to that part of the schedule. It's a home game for Cincinnati. I think they bounce back. I think there's a little bit of turmoil. There's some question marks going on with the Browns right now. It's a good time to play the Browns, and it's a terrible time to play the Bengals. So if you get this at DJ's line, hammering the shit out of it. If you get it at my line, do your normal wager. But I'm all about the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, and it's a lot of what I said. The Browns, I talked about what I think Baker Mayfield is. I'm going to bounce back to the Packers real quick. I think that line's going to move to like -2, -2.5 Packers, by the way. So, yes, bet that now. Okay, so back to the Bengals. Yeah, I mean, they're a good football team. They played down. I think they came in just expecting to win, and they got punched in the mouth. Simply, like, I think that's as simple as it gets. They should have won. Not won. They should have had a chance to tie the game, and the worst ref helmet to helmet call of all time.
Oh, right.
That's the biggest, like that ref should be fired. He should be blown on the moon. That was the worst call ever. They should have had a chance to win the game. No doubt in my mind, Joe Burrow would have won that game. That was terrible. Like I can't even, it's hard to explain, but it's frustrating. Anyways, the Browns, I mean, I talked about Baker Mayfield. He's not the guy. Browns fans love him because they went to the playoffs. I know he's got that injured shoulder, but even before that, he just wasn't that guy. I think they're better off right now if they just play Case Keenum because he's healthy and you don't have to worry about that shoulder. And that style of offense is perfect for him. That's why he worked well with the Vikings and took them to the playoffs.
That's his guy.
It's run. Yeah. Run. Exactly. Run. Play action, 1 or 2 reads, and you don't have to like sit back and read everything. Like there's a couple options and they're usually going to be open. Like that's the style of offense he needs to be in. So I think Case Keenum is the guy. I would like this less if Case Keenum was playing quarterback. I like it with Baker injured right now. But yeah, I don't see the Bengals doing this.
Odell's dad has never posted any videos of Case Keenum to my knowledge.
Exactly.
So you could alleviate that issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah, I think. Go ahead.
What do you think?
I just think they'd be better off playing Case Keenum.
It's interesting. You say about how the Browns fans like it, and I could relate just being a Dolphins fan. It's like you find some success with someone and you want to latch onto that, and that's your guy because you haven't had a quarterback for a decade or two. So it's like, okay, well, this is going to be the guy, and you got that with Baker, and Baker's starting to show it's like he can get the job done. But I don't know if he is that guy that's going to be able to lead you to victories and playoffs and all that on a routine basis. But We've beat that to the ground multiple times. You
Tua
shared
is
your.
Baker Mayfield. That's what
I'm
he
done
is.
with you. Let's move on to
I just realized that.
No, well, Jesus Christ. They're not even the same.
They're exactly well, one's
nationality.
left-handed, one's right-handed.
We're gonna talk about them at some point here.
But the same
Let's go on
athleticism,
to
same height.
the Vikings and the Ravens. DJ, you're taking the Vikings after they just lost to the Dak Prescott-less Dallas Cowboys. What are you What are you doing here?
Well, I think the last remember the Ravens, I think they beat the shit out of the Bengals, right?
Yeah, but then they got it handed to them.
Like, oh yeah, they did. That. They did.
Or no, wait.
The Bengals beat
the
shit out
Bengals
of
handed
them,
it to them. Yeah,
and now they're on a bye, right? They were on a bye this last week because I had Lamar Jackson, and then they're going to be coming off the bye. Everybody's going to be on the Ravens. Vikings just played bad. Didn't play good. They should have put up way more points. Kirk Cousins is the most confusing quarterback in the world. I don't understand it. That's a game they should absolutely won. Of course, I bet on the Vikings, so I should have known that.
It's your fault.
Yeah. But like I don't know what I'm doing so much that I saw this game and my instinct was to bet the Ravens, so I instantly bet the Vikings because they this is the type of game where they play close because they are the team that actually plays up and down to their competition. If there's any team in the NFL that can play up to the best and play down to the worst, it's the Vikings because they have all that talent offensively, defensively, and just such a bipolar quarterback that they can be in any game and they will be in any game. So I think they can play tight with the Ravens. Again, I'm a big Lamar Jackson poo-pooer, so I don't think he's all that in a bag of chips.
Ooh, that's a nice old reference. Jesus.
I like the Vikings plus 5.5.
I'm just looking it up right now to see how many Vikings games this year have been decided by the last possession or
the Cardinals
3 points or less. Yeah, so week 1 overtime game they lost by a field goal. Week 2 they lose by the game-winning field goal, which was only a 1-point game against the Cardinals. Yeah,
they missed though too before that. I think
that's right. They actually beat the Seahawks by 13. They lost the Vikings they lost to the Browns by 1 possession in that defensive just battle. They only beat the Vikings or the Lions by 2. They beat the Panthers in that crazy overtime game, another overtime game. And then they lost to the Vikings or the Cowboys by 4 in last week's shit show.
To each competition, good and bad.
But all those games are within 1 possession.
Right.
Like even when they're losing. Teams,
some bad teams.
Does the Vikings playing in Baltimore scare you though? Baltimore is one of those. Dude, I say it every week. Baltimore is a scary place to play.
I just told you what my instinct was, and I'm going against it.
Do you think they're going to be able to handle the Omar whistle that the Ravens do now?
I don't know anything. I bet the Vikings because I think it's probably the right play because I really wanted to bet the Ravens.
I love it. You might be onto something here. I honestly think that this might be a Sunday tickle job for me.
But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, the Vikings play in every game.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I might see if I can get that up to 6.5.
Yeah,
pay a little extra. Let's see here. This next one we should be also nervous about. Me and you, man, we don't like the Eagles. We are going against the Eagles. I got the Chargers at 1. You've actually got them at -2. This game is in Philly. This is a game that we're getting the discount on. This is the perfect matchup because you just had the Eagles damn near win by 40 against the Lions. The betting public just saw them blow someone out. The betting public also saw the Chargers not play so hot the last 2-3 weeks.
They should have beat. I don't know what's going on.
That was rough. But me and you aren't pivoting off the Eagles. We don't all of a sudden think the Eagles are some great team. This is the game you take advantage of. I'm almost embarrassed that I'm only doing 0.2 units on it. Have you seen that advanced metric that over the last 3 games that Justin Herbert has played in, he's the most he's been the worst quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, he hasn't played good the last 2 games that he's played, but he'll be back.
I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be back. You know who else is going to be back? Mike Williams.
Yeah.
He's not catching 2 passes. He's had 2 pass completion or 2 receptions in both of the last 2 games. That shit ain't happening. Keenan Allen's going to keep his shit going. Eckler's going to get his shit going. That defense is going to respond against Jalen Hurts. They're going to end up being able to make him pay. They're not just going to let him just fly all over the place. Yeah. threw what, like 14 passes in that game against the Lions? That game was such an anomaly. Throw that out the window and take advantage of the discount you're getting here. I got it at 1. I couldn't have jumped on it faster.
Yeah, I'm at the point where like the Chargers, their run defense is actually really bad. But that's why the matchup against the Ravens like just didn't go well. That's something they're gonna have to work on and improve obviously throughout the season to be the elite team they want to be, because they're a really good football team. They're a top.
Yeah.
To me, they're a top team in the AFC here.
For sure in the AFC.
I truly believe they're a Super Bowl contender. I do, but if that defensive line doesn't, that front seven doesn't start to stop the run, it's gonna be an issue. Luckily, they're going up with a team that doesn't really run that well.
Right.
I mean, they just don't run the ball much. They just don't, for some reason. Miles Sanders can attest to that, and
he's got to be pissed.
Yeah, and I mean, Justin Herbert isn't going to continue to play bad. He's kind of got this little thing where he does go on these little cold streaks and I think part of it is what I was talking about with him, the way he throws the ball. Sometimes he just throws too many darts and needs to change it up a little bit. But yeah, I hate the Eagles. Love the Chargers coming off a loss here. Eagles are a bad football team. It's really all it comes down to.
You want to know the most depressing thing about the Eagles last week was I've been hanging on to Kenny Gainwell in fantasy all year, and I'm like, I'm get to finally plug him into the flex play. Here the Eagles go out and run for 4 touchdowns last week, and he gets 0 of them. That was by far the most depressing thing of all time. Jordan Howard?
Oh, Jordan Howard too.
Well, they each got 2. But Jordan Howard last year for the Dolphins had 13 carries for 10 yards and like 4 touchdowns.
Which makes me so angry because I know Miles Sanders, if he played, probably would have had a monster game.
Miles Sanders would have gotten all the touchdowns. He would have set the record for most fantasy points.
It would have been great. It would have been wild.
I really like this one. I only have it 0.2 units on here, but man, I almost want to make like an in podcast adjustment, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go 0.5 on this. I'm upping it. This is scary because usually if we're on the same side of something, it doesn't work well. But the math has to equal out at some point. We're due to win one of these. I'm making an in podcast adjustment. I'm going 0.5 units on this one.
I got it fine.
Perfect. DJ, this next one that I have kind of bleeds into your next one as well. So I'll lead it off. It's my 2-team teaser of the week. I took the week off from these last week. Wasn't feeling it. This week, love it. All right, you're going to be able to say whatever you want about Tua, but I'm just going to ignore you here. My 2-team tease of the week. Both of my teams here that I'm taking are favored by 6.5. I'm taking the Dolphins, so they just have to win, and I'm taking the Steelers, so they just have to win. Why? I'll start with the Dolphins, and then I know that you've got the Steelers in your next play here. Why I like the Dolphins. One, we still can't get behind the fact that Houston's going to be good against any team, even if it is against the underperforming Miami Dolphins. Miami is at home. They only have to win, and Tua finally gets to play without the stress of, oh shit, I need to capitalize and maximize every single play because these people are breathing down my back. I get it. I know where you're going to probably go a little bit. It's still there. Watson just didn't disappear because the trade deadline passed. Everyone's saying this is a 9 or a 10 game audition, however many games they have left. Like Tua, and I kind of agree. Like granted, the deck is stacked against him. His receivers are hurt. His line sucks. Play calling is suspect. But there comes a certain point in time when you as a quarterback need to overcome some shit, and you need to just prove that you're the guy that can make the people around you better. This is the time. This is the only time. Maybe it's not fair, but he's getting a chance. He's going to have a chance over the next 9 or 10 weeks, whatever they got left here, to be that guy. And I think he's going to be able to play in such a more – I mean, I want to say his play style is going to be able to be super relaxed because his offensive line does still suck. But he's not going to have that pressure that every single play is being magnified. Every single completion, the Tua fans were – oh my God, did you see that? That was the best completion of all time. And then every incompletion or interception or bad decision by the Tua haters was like, oh my God, this guy can't be anyone's future quarterback. Every single thing that he did, good or bad, was being blown so far out of proportion. And for the rest of the season, we can just sort of let that go. That doesn't have to be on the mind anymore. They can just relax, play some fucking football. And what better way with Watson out of position to just let that be against the Texans at home? I think they bounce back. They don't have to blow out. They just got to win the game. It's the Houston Texans. They don't even need to win. They don't want to win. So before I get to my next Steelers thing, I know that you've been smiling. You want to fucking just cut me down. So go ahead.
Well, it just seems like you have a new excuse like every fucking week. Like now he doesn't have the pressure of Watson this week. It's that thing next week, blah, blah, blah. He plays a shitty game against the Bills. It's the Bills. It's whatever. They're good. But, I thought about betting on them. I do worry about Tyrod Taylor, though. Tyrod Taylor makes Houston a significantly better team. I could not bet them 6.5, not knowing if Tyrod Taylor's playing. Because
Tyrod historically beats the piss out of Miami too.
You can't deny he's a solid quarterback in the NFL. He's not great. He's not bad, but he's the perfect bridge guy. He's a veteran.
He is. He should be Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes, he's better than Teddy Bridgewater, though. I really, truly think he is. He's more athletic too, and
I just meant the name.
Much more accurate. He doesn't turn the ball over.
They should just trade names, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, anybody doesn't turn it over. I mean, Brandon Cooks and him, they make plays. He's just a veteran quarterback who knows what he's doing, who's savvy enough to win games, whether it's with the Texans or not. So I know he could keep them in the game because both these teams are very bad. That's why I want to see what happens. If it was Davis Mills, I'd jump on this at 6.5. I get nervous. I do think Tyrod, he was so close to playing this last weekend that it's almost like 100% he plays this weekend. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Tua's very good. I just don't. I never have. I never will. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there will ever be a point where Tua just pushes to a level where it's like, oh, he's this great quarterback. He might play okay at some point, but you're never going to be totally happy, even though you're trying to be. Like, you're forcing happiness, and you need to just let the relationship die out and get a divorce at some point. And I'll talk to you about it like 2-3 years down the road. Steelers, though. Do I have the Steelers? Oh yeah.
So that's where it bleeds in because your next
the Bears.
Bet, I can throw that up there. Your next bet, you're like the exact opposite because I'm cutting this down to the Steelers only needing to win, and you're over here betting the Bears money line.
Yeah,
so you're completely against.
I almost took the Bears plus whatever 5 or 7 or 6. I don't know.
6.5 is
6.5. But I watched them play the other day. I hope that if Matt Nagy doesn't call play calls, they call those play calls. And I could see that Fields was like, as bad as they've been playing, you could almost tell that he was just on the cusp because he was just starting to get into the season as they've been going on. Matt Nagy's a really bad play caller, so he doesn't know how to call plays with a bad offensive line and a rookie quarterback. And in this game,
I think he's a bad play caller if he has all the responsibilities of being the head coach in the process. Like if he only did one thing, he'd probably be okay at it.
I mean, no, I don't think he would. He's fired. I think he's fired. But you gotta roll him out, get the ball out quick, qual run plays. He had 103 yards rushing. I think he was like number 2 or 3 rusher in the NFL this week. He threw the ball well to Mooney, moving out of the pocket, much more comfortable looking that way. I liked what he brought to the table. I think the Steelers are not a good football team. Every game when they do win they looks ugly and crappy, and their defense is another level when TJ Watt's healthy. When it comes out, their offense is pretty crappy. I like the trajectory of Justin Fields. I think they beat the Steelers. Is this a primetime game?
Oh, it might be actually.
I'll let you know in like 2 seconds. Yes, it's Monday night.
Oh, it's Monday. I couldn't remember if it was Sunday or Monday.
It's Monday night. I like the Bears straight up. 240.
I think this is one of those games where I agree with what you said about Fields, but I also think in Pittsburgh against that defense, rookies have lumps, man. This could be a lumpy game.
Yeah,
that's what I'd be scared about. And yeah, Pittsburgh's offense isn't scaring anybody right now. Not too worried about that. I don't think it's like that 6.5 line. I'm not comfortable with, but when I bounce this down to just the Steelers winning, I'm pretty comfortable with it. I saw something online that actually made me bet on the Steelers last week when they were getting points against the Browns, and I bet on them, and that a terrible game, 15-10. And then I actually hit my under that I actually put on the podcast as an official play as well. So I'd have to put myself in the category of being a man, I'm just on the money with the Steelers right now. I'm really feeling it. I'm seeing the board well, as you would say. I'm seeing the Steelers board well. But all jokes aside, I like the idea of being able to go with that defense against a rookie quarterback, primetime in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense isn't going. I don't think they're going to light the scoreboard up by any
No,
means.
they aren't. They're going to suck.
But the Bears' defense isn't great.
They got the pass rush, the linemen. They want to run. Hakeem Hicks is a monster, so they're going to struggle to get that run game going. And, they're still solid. They're still a solid defense. They're still a good defense. They have Eddie Jackson. I mean, they have guys.
I had a dream on Saturday night of last week, leading up to football Sunday, that Najee Harris ran 36 times for 75 yards in that game.
He might do that. I can see him getting to 30 carries. They ran 22 times this last week.
Oh man,
that poor guy is going to be out of the league in 4 years.
Yeah, but right now, man, he's the best running back in fantasy.
Not quite. Well, yeah, maybe Derrick Henry got hurt, but I'd still say Jonathan Taylor is that guy if he's not there.
Right. Well, you know what is good about this one, though, DJ? We're both on the opposite end, so finally one of us is going to win, especially if we both lose the ones that we're both on.
Yeah, I thought about betting against myself Sunday night or Monday night. I told you, so I could just feel what a win looks like. Just see what a win feels like. Start to get that winning feeling back.
All you felt is the whole week is pain. You're going to have some pain there, but you're going to have some sense of like winning.
Yeah, actually, my action looks good right now.
Was there a hook in that game at all?
I would have only done it if there was a hook.
The best is if there wouldn't have been, and it would have been.
Well, the push would have been fine too. It would have been even. It would be even.
No, it would have been terrible. You're like, fuck, I can't win, even if I'm guaranteed to win.
Yeah, but I would have had to pay the juice then.
So you still lose.
Yeah.
What a country. All right, DJ. I would classify your final bet here as like what we call on the podcast as the hangover finish.
Yeah, the Jags are just a bad football team, and I'm sick of watching them, and I'm sick of watching Urban Meyer. As long as he's their coach, this is bullshit. It sucked that James Robinson got hurt, but I thought the Jags would give a freaking – what did they play, the Broncos this last week?
Jags played Seattle.
I thought they'd give Geno Smith, who they wouldn't let it throw the ball the week before that, a game and make it tough, but apparently not. I think he was like 17 for 17 at some point. He was just picking them apart. It was ugly.
Yeah.
They had 12 men on the field 2 times in a row. It was embarrassing. They can't. How do you get 12 men on the field twice after a timeout and then, or after the penalty and then you have to call a timeout? I don't know.
I actually have a good reason behind this. Is you do it once, you get called for it. They don't anticipate you're going to do it again, so you fucking try it. Just to trick the refs.
So these idiots get 12 men on the field 2 times in a row. The Bills win a tight game against the Dolphins, probably, again, thinking they're going to blow them out. They're going to blow this fucking team out. This is like a 30-point victory. Swallow all those. I'll swallow every one of those 14 points. They should smash this piss-poor, pitiful fucking excuse for a football team.
Yeah, I'm not making this an official play, but Jesus, even being at Jacksonville doesn't scare me. At Jacksonville isn't even a home game for the Jaguars. If this game was in London, I'd be a little bit more scared.
The Bills are going to be like, yeah, it's warm down here. I appreciate that.
They're probably going to love that.
Wow.
God, I don't have much to add to that. I'll highlight this. You talked about bad plays and the illegal people on defense. I was watching that the Dolphins-Bills game last week. Did you see right before halftime when they snapped the ball and hit Gesicki coming through?
Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. I sent a message, remember? I said, did I see what I just thought I saw?
Sundays are a blur, man. I don't remember things on Sundays. That play, I was talking to another Dolphins fan earlier today. I'm sorry, I'm going off your Bills, Jigs. I just don't have anything to add, so I wanted to just end on something with a little bit of humor to it. And that play is the epitome of humor and football humor of being a Dolphins fan. Because if you would only watch one play of the Miami Dolphins over the last 20 years, that could just kind of summarize everything that's happened either on the field, off the field, just everything about the organization. It's that play.
I said it's the epitome of the Dolphins season. I laughed so hard and enjoyed it so much. I pulled my wife downstairs, who knows nothing, and told her about what happened. But she knows you're a Dolphins fan, and she knows I enjoy watching you suffer. So she even thought it was kind of funny. But I was like, watch this, honey, watch this. this fucking guy. I got it on my phone. It's like, some seconds left in the half. They can kick a field goal. This guy goes in motion and they snap into him and then they pick it up. The best would have been if they ran for a touchdown off of it.
Oh man, that would have taken it to a whole new level. But man, it's crazy because
and that was out of a timeout too, wasn't it?
It was either right out of a timeout or the timeout was like a play or two before.
No, it was out of a timeout because they couldn't get fucking lined up for some reason. It was Aaron Rodgers style.
I think I tweeted this after it was all said and done, but I've been waiting all season for the Dolphins to New England Patriots somebody. That's what I call it. It's where you get the ball coming out of halftime, but you get the ball last. Like you score either a field goal or a touchdown.
No, that's Aaron Rodgers. It's the double up.
Well, it's the Belichick and the Patriots always do it. They went on a 3,000 game stretch where they never didn't receive the ball in the third quarter. It was fucking unbelievable. But I'm like, oh my God, the Dolphins they can get points. Then they can get the ball in the second half. It's against the Bills. It's going to be great. And then you just saw confusion and Mike Gesicki just like telling, I think it was Waddle or someone, just to get somewhere and just chaos. But you didn't want to call timeout because you only had one left. So I understood the idea of not calling a timeout there and just snapping the ball. But then, Jesus, you ran out of time. Gesicki goes in motion. Ball hits him in the fucking kneecaps. And I think he said afterwards, like they were asking about it, he goes, do I look like a jet sweep kind of guy?
That was great.
No.
I enjoyed it because right before that, I wasn't seeing there wasn't much scoring going on that game. So I was like,
yeah, super low scoring.
I literally sent you a message saying, can you sum up this entire first half for me real quick? Because I haven't seen any of it. And then as that happened, they switched to red zone and that fucking fumble happened. And it was like, I don't know, maybe I'm just your guys' jink, but I'm going to continue to talk about the Dolphins now if that shit continues to happen.
I just ended up summarizing the entire game instead. You didn't need me.
I didn't need it after that. I was like, well, that was good.
DJ, before we wrap this puppy up, like I said, next week I am completely out of commission. I don't get to do my Dynasty Trade Target article. I'm not going to be available on the podcast. Do you want to give a preview as to what the hell is going to happen with Loaded Box next week?
I have no idea. I'll find somebody. I'll either get intern Logan. Maybe I'll try to get Elliot Chris on the podcast. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Looking forward to what I'm looking forward to. So I'm assuming you'll probably end up doing it on like Wednesday night. Yes. What I'm looking forward to is letting that thing ride out, and then I'll download it. And then Thursday, as I'm approaching the swim up bar for the first time, I'll throw in some earbuds and I'll just listen to that, sip on some pina coladas. I don't know. Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
What is with you and fucking pina coladas? That's like the weakest fucking find something else to drink.
I'm an island boy. I'm
an island boy.
Let me be me. All right, let's wrap this fucker up. Find us on Twitter at LoadedBox. Website is loadedboxpodcast.com. Everything you need in life is there, or it's with me in Cancun next week, being an island boy. Next episode, DJ is going to be a wild card, but it's going to happen. It's going to be great. You're going to want to tune in week 10. We're available everywhere. Subscribe, rate, review. DJ, send me to a fucking other country.
Bye.